Hello everyone, Pallytime here, and welcome back to Orcs Must Die 3. Feeling a little under the weather today, so please excuse me if I don't sound 100%. Oh my goodness gracious, I have been stuck on this level for at least 2 hours trying to find a strategy that I could make a guide for. The level I'm talking about, of course, is the Coastal Hallways, as you already know if you are clicking on this video. I've beaten this level plenty of times. However, I've beaten it with a kill box that simply does not fit into this level for the par time on this difficulty. It simply does not work. I was 2 to 3 minutes over par no matter what I was doing. So I had to scrap everything I knew and start over from scratch. And this is what I came up with. Remember, if you guys are enjoying this series, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button. Also, remember, we're raising money for the Arnold Palmer Hospital in Orlando, Florida to help sick kids on November 6th. Mark your calendars. Hoping to raise $37,000 to help sick kids. Let's get into the level. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So let's start with what my old strategy was. There are 3 entrances on this map. All of them are located on a lower level. There are stairs on both the southeastern and southwestern side of the map, and paths that lead up to the rift on both sides as well. What I was doing was totally blocking off this side with barricades, which forces all these little ghosts, instead of going that way, up this main set of stairs. And then I was also barricading this side as well. I don't totally understand Sapper AI still. Some levels, you can put barricades directly in front of them. For instance, the barricades we put down first are extremely close to that western spawn. I don't know why those barricades are safe, but anyway, we had a beautiful kill box right inside here, and I just zigzagged these enemies and did the patented Pallytime kill box. Nothing leaked. Everything was easy going. We just had to kill sampers every now and then. But despite all of my efforts, despite tweaking it for more damage outside, the run is simply too far for enemies to get to us without us going over par. So we had to rethink what we were planning. I'm on the eastern side of the map right now, and I'm going to start off by barricading this side instead. This is going to force all of the enemies that would go this way to the western side of the map and towards this staircase in the back where they can get up to the rift pretty quickly. What I found worked for me was actually making this area my main defensible line. The traps we're going to use for this level are the Staff of Domination, barricades. These are the single barricades with the increased explosion resistances, which is pretty important on this map. There's a ton of sappers, as well as the introduction of fire elementals for the first time on this difficulty. We'll talk about them when we get to them, but they can be a disaster if you're not prepared for them. Brimstone to help deal with the sappers. We also have tar to slow normal enemies down. I was debating whether or not this one was worth it. I think this slapper helps out a ton in the early rounds because it'll stun most enemies that walk through this point. However, after the first couple of rounds, I think its usefulness goes down quite a bit. One thing that is super duper useful throughout our entire time here is going to be the dart trap augmented to deal frost damage. We're going to be freezing and crowd controlling a lot of our enemies with this. I'm using arcane dragons because there are some extremely long hallways that enemies are going to be walking through, and these dragons end up having a ton of uptime as they travel back and forth. I actually feel like this is one of the better areas for uptime on these things, and although in this direction it's not quite ideal, you can slap in at least a few on the wall here to interface with our kill box. I'm using the flowers just to keep people crowd controlled. We're going to be putting these off to the side, and then flamers, the floor scorchers, to deal damage over the barricades into our enemies. We're eventually going to have a line of barricades that goes down this path here, and above all of those barricades, we're going to put these, what are these called? Ceiling stompers? That's what they should be called. Ceiling pounders. which not only deal damage to enemies that walk under them, also stun them for a small duration. So we're actually looking at a ton of control in this hallway once it gets built up. However, we have to get there first. So to start things off, we are going to put 2 barricades in front of the main middle entrance. This is where all of our enemies are going to be traveling through. And I'm going to put a dart trap and tar on the open tile. Keep in mind, we do have 3 barricades over here. That's eating a lot of our starting money. And throughout this round, I'm going to try to save up enough gold to put another one of these dart traps on the ceiling. We're about 550 gold away from that right now. The Staff of Domination does have a charge function that I don't use very often, but it can be pretty good in this situation because the enemies are going to be grouping up a lot, and you can kind of ragdoll them all over the place if you land that shot. Also, remember, the Staff of Domination has a fantastic mind control effect on the right click that we can use not only to mind control enemies, but also basically turn them into a walking bomb that will detonate and deal extra damage to their enemies when they die. So periodically I am sending out mind controls in this mess just for that purpose. An ogre kind of flung some enemies around there. We need to make sure that they are controlled. They are. And the ogre itself is taken down. Very important that we sell everything there. Next, we're going to run up to this indented part of the wall and start to build our trap gauntlet over here. I'm going to mind control the knoll so he can't do any damage to me, and then peek around this corner, and I'm going to mind control that fire elemental on that side. I believe this is the first level where we experience fire elementals, and they suck. The reason I fought that one over there rather than waiting for him to get closer to our barricade line is he's actually going to blow up and deal damage to those barricades at the top of the stairs, which, you know, normally you don't want, and that sounds kind of scary, but we're going to be totally fine. That should be the only time that those barricades take damage, whereas the barricades on this side of the map are actually going to be taking damage quite often. I'm putting the dart trap above the elbow on this line. If you're a little sketched out by all the combat that's happening here, don't worry. As we get more money, we're going to be more cemented in this area and more easily able to deal with everything. I do have these arcane dragons that I could set down sometime soon. Since the majority of our enemies are going to be traversing on this tile, setting up one directly on the other side of this room is going to add in a lot of damage to this kill box as it passes through each enemy. And we're going to be extending out that tile as much as we can on these rounds. Be mindful that on round 3, we're going to see our first sappers. It's 3 groups of sappers that come out of the middle door location. As long as we're here and ready, they won't be a problem. They're already dealt with. Now at round 3, we're going to add in these ceiling thumpers to deal some damage to our enemies and extend the wall line out as far as it's going to be. We have to leave this tile open for enemies to get through. That fire elemental exploding is going to deal some damage to our barricades. We want to be here at the end of this round so we can sell those and get them back up and operational again as soon as possible. We do see some of the fire element or earth elementals trying to make their way through this, but they are killed off by the thumpers pretty quickly. Checking these big guys, it looks like the ogres are on the way. Indeed they are. Ogres actually pushing a couple of orcs over the wall there.
Well, that's never part of the plan.
We do get taken down by a stray arrow, but don't you worry, we are super duper close to our trap box. If we mind control the ogre with the Staff of Domination, he won't move and we can finish him off. And then we can simply mind control those ogres to have them fighting inside of the kill box. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and start to add some brimstone to our trap gauntlet as well. Make sure these elementals don't get by. Dying there was kind of unfortunate, obviously, but that's something we can recover from, no problem. And we're actually going to use that ogre to help us clear out the remainder of the ads before we clear him out. Mind control's going off here. I'm also going to put down our first flower. This will kind of help us keep enemies inside of the kill box as we are starting to leak a little bit. Don't you worry, though. This is as hard as it's going to get. The more stuff we add in here, the easier this is going to be. Round 4 is starting, and you guessed it, we're going to have some more sappers from the front line here. Again, as long as we shoot at this corner, they won't even make it around the corner. No problem at all. Sappers are dealt with. I'm going to add 1 extra barricade around that wall, and then I'm going to add, I'm going to end up adding in 3 arcane dragons to help shoot at these dudes. You know what I forgot to do? Sell our barricades. Shit. Luckily for us, that didn't come back to bite us, as those are still standing. This is what I mean about the wall slapper. Like, it does a good job, but I can't fit any more of the wall slappers in. It's just kind of there. It is taking up a little bit of wall space. Don't you worry. When I get some more money, we're actually going to start to put our floor scorchers on the wall with the upgrade that we have slotted for them. And that's going to start to shoot down the line of tar that we have placed there, dealing damage to most enemies inside of the kill box. And we can make this even better because I don't have tar underneath that spot. We can add in another floor scorcher, this time on the floor, shooting at the entrance of the kill box as well. Our kill box is holding super duper well at the moment, so I'm going to take a quick second just to top my health up before this round ends. And we need to be mindful that some of our barricades are busted up, and we do need to start selling them off. This is the round where everything kind of starts to stabilize, and I start to feel pretty comfortable in our positioning. We also get a ton of money at the beginning of this round that I hope to utilize pretty well. So again, let's get some more damage down this hallway. Let's get some arcane dragons on that hallway. Again, just dealing damage to the entire room. Unfortunately, we don't get too good of a bounce off of this wall with the upgrade that we have, but that's okay. It's still adding in some meaningful damage. Sappers spawning in from the left location this side. All we have to do is shoot in their general direction, and we'll take them down. And dynamite archers moving in mean I need to line of sight just until they are dead. We're starting to get a surplus of funds, and with those funds, I'm just continuing our freeze line down the wall to make this area even more impenetrable. And as you can see, as most large enemies enter the trap gauntlet, they're immediately met with a freeze. We have a mountain troll and an armored ogre in here, and I don't think they're going to be able to get much farther. And the wall slapper actually moving them back a little bit on the wall as well. Round 6 is more of the same. If you've made it this far, you should be feeling pretty comfortable. However, round 7 can be a bit of a doozy, and I'm not gonna tell you why. Just in case you're here for the entertainment factor, I remember the first time I saw round 7 and round 8 on this map, my jaw dropped. I literally, like, fucking involuntarily screamed. We hear the screech of the sappers leaving the spawn again. We just take a couple steps forward and take them down. Some sappers got through on the other side. That's totally fine because they just hit that corner of the elbow. We have that there to basically take the brunt of their damage. It is working as intended. Big ol' ogres are trying to make their way through now. More sappers spawning on the left side. Let's just step out and take them down. Sappers always show up as a yellow circle on the map, but that's the same circle that the dynamite archers show up as. So what really gives it away that you have sappers en route is they screech like a bird, if you've never noticed that before. Very, very big hint that helped us out quite a bit with our level planning. One more brimstone in the front, and that should be more than enough for what we're trying to do. We can put down more tar as the enemies go around this corner and set up even more of those head thumpers. So if somehow they do make it around the corner, we should be fine. I am going to start off round 7 by being over here. This is super duper important. I'm also going to sell these 2 barricades just to be extra safe. Round 7 is a massive, massive, massive wave of sappers. Look at the mini-map. They're coming out in every single direction right now, but it's only the beginning of the wave. That's why we have so much brimstone down over here. But the right side of the map needs us to manually defend it. The eastern side of the map needs us over there. So that's why we were there, just to make sure that nothing quite got by. If you didn't know that was coming, it can be fucking devastating to this strategy. So make sure that you are prepared. We're also going to start to set up floor scorchers pointing into our trap box. That's going to increase a ton of damage in this area. We also might have some sappers running through the middle entrance right now. Yes, we do. I heard the screech trying to shoot towards them, and I got him. They did destroy the elbow barricade. Let's make sure that we replace that as soon as possible. Again, that barricade is placed there. It's designed to take a bunch of damage. And we're kind of at the point where we're done building the majority of our traps. We have most of the things down that we need, meaning we're going to have excess funds to actually replace that barricade on the ground. For this level, I do have the par timer turned on, if you didn't notice that. Wave 7 out of 8, 5 minutes left on par. I had to turn that on because I was running into so many issues actually making par on this map. It was actually so difficult. Hey, round 8's more of the same. Sappers coming out of every area, and we need to make sure that we are on this right side, ready to protect our fragile barricades. But that has been taken care of. We can put some more floor scorchers down, pointed into the kill box on this side as well. And really, if we really want to spend all of our money, we can have individual floor scorchers pointing in every step of the way here too. Is that a little excessive? Yeah, I think so, actually. I don't think you need to do that at all. More head pounders on that wall. We do lose that corner barricade again, but oh my goodness, we lose that one too. Luckily for us, we had like 6,000 gold to spend there, so we'll just replace them relatively quickly. As long as we hold on this round, we should be good to go. Mountain Trolls trying to make it to the end, not quite happening. Looks like we're going to have a Fire Lord explode in about the same spot as before. But look at that. We've already gained 3,000 gold, and we can easily replace that barricade again. These are the dwindling enemies of the final wave of this encounter. And with that, we should be pretty successful. I don't think this is going to get any high scores. I don't think we're going to be breaking any records today, but I am so happy to have this level cleared because holy moly, it was such a challenge. I really struggled with this one, actually. If we go ahead and go back to the campaign, we can see where our score got us. Keep in mind, on this level, my high score was done without making par time. High scores don't have anything to do with skulls. And if you're ever chasing a leaderboard position, it's important to remember that. You can kind of control your own pace. 6 million? No idea. No idea. You have any thoughts on how they did that? I have no clue. We ended up placing in the top 1,000. That's pretty low for me placing on the leaderboard, but nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to hit the like button on your way out. We'll be back very soon taking a look at the secret fortress. I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.